Welcome back to another Create Mod walkthrough. Today we are going over every single way that you can get infinite lava in the base Create Mod. Lava is used for so many recipes in the Create Mod. Just look at my tutorials on my channel. Almost every single one requires lava, including a blaze cake farm and a safe farm. My redstone farms, like I think probably half of them require an infinite source of lava. So that is where we come to today. We have 4 different ways of getting infinite lava, and this is every way that you can get it. And I will go over each of them, their pros and their cons, and which ones I would recommend. There are 3 main methods we are getting them. 1, a big old cube of lava, the vanilla Minecraft generation with a bit of Create Mod to pull it out of the cauldrons, and then the final one is a recipe using superheated blaze. And according to the wiki, these are the only 3 ways you can actually get infinite lava. We're going to start over here with the big old hole filled with lava. I have done this on my survival series where I have built a big hole, filled it with lava, and now it counts as an infinite source. If you're going to build this, you need to have it be exactly 10,000 blocks. This area is a 25 by 25 by 16 blocks tall square, which is exactly 10,000. You could also do 20 by 20 by 25 if you want that as well, because that is also 10,000. There are a couple of things to note, and this is the case with any that are using a massive lava lake here. First of all, it needs to be 10,000 buckets of lava to create a bottomless supply. When you're looking at a hose pulley that is brought all the way down to the bottom block here, and you hover over it with engineering goggles, that's why you can see the kinetic stress impact and the fact that it's a bottomless supply, you should see that it is a bottomless supply. If it's not, don't start pulling lava out because you will eventually run out of these 10,000 blocks. You can see here that it doesn't need to be in the center of the lava lake, but it does need to be at the very bottom in order for it to count every single layer of lava here. The way I would recommend filling in this 10,000 block lava lake is using another hose pulley, and you need to fill this from the top down. The only issue with this method, as it is the easiest, you can do it in the overworld, the nether, the end, it doesn't matter where, you just have to first get a 10,000 block area of lava. So it's kind of like you need infinite lava to make an infinite lava tube, which is where the difficulty comes in. If you have something like the sophisticated backpacks mod or something else where you can put in a bunch of buckets of lava, then it could be doable, but otherwise it's very difficult. There are some pros and cons to this. First of all, once you set it up, you don't need to think about it ever again. It is very simple. There's not many things that can go wrong with this issue, and it goes at maximum pump speed. You can see that we are getting more than a lava bucket per second filling this up, which is insane. The way I would recommend building this if you don't have something like the sophisticated backpacks mod with a fluid tank insert is to use one of the other farms to fill this thing up. Moving on to this second way to generate lava, this is the vanilla lava farm here, where you just have lava source blocks with dripstone going into cauldrons. This uses the random tick rate to just randomly generate lava, and I think the average is once every 30 minutes per cauldron. You can change the random tick speed by doing game rule random tick speed. The default is 3, but if we switch it to 100, you will see that more of these start to fill up much faster. You can see 2 happen there, and if we even bump this up to 1,000, see a bunch are going all at the same time. So this is an infinite source if you have a big enough area. The only issue is that you need to be loading these chunks with a random tick generatable chunk loader. The reason I'm saying that is because the vanilla chunk loader will not work with this randomly generating. It needs to be a modded chunk loader, like the ones from Create Power Loader, or a different one that loads in random ticks, and I would just check this in a creative world before building it. The way I did it was I put in 2 chunk loaders here, just because we're at the border of a chunk, and then I flew way out of render distance, turned up the tick speed to 1,000, and then set it back down to 3 and came back over. This thing was full, all of these were full, and it took 15 to 20 seconds. You can then also use this farm to pour lava into your main big lava source until this becomes an infinite source. This is a really good entry level and basic design, but I would not recommend this for large scale farms or really either steam engines, because if this doesn't supply enough lava for your steam engines, all of these pumps will fail, your steam engines won't be able to power it, and it'll get stuck in a loop. So you want a real infinite supply to power steam engines or anything else that is of critical importance. But this is a great farm to fill in the bigger ones there. Another more interesting option is a heated blaze burner. In the default lava menu, you can mix cobblestone, mossy cobblestone, deep slate into lava, and you get 50 millibuckets, which is 50 thousandths of a bucket. That is not a lot, but a blaze burner I think has about 2 minutes on its burning glory, and these things generate pretty quickly. And if you have an infinite blaze cake generator here that relies on nothing other than it being loaded in the world, that isn't actually too bad. Again, I wouldn't rely on it for critical infrastructure like this one because it can fail if you're unlucky or you don't load in the chunks here, but it's great again for filling up the big boy over there. The final way to get an infinite source of lava is with trains and nether loading. You will need chunk loaders for this, but it doesn't have to be random tick generatable ones. You can do vanilla chunk loaders. I'm still using the Create Power Loaders mod, but you don't have to. This uses the fact that trains can go through nether portals. As you can see there, the tracks go between, and we'll see this train filled with lava in the tank will go around into the nether. And then once the train comes in, it's going to come around, get filled up with lava, and then go back to the overworld. To set up the nether side, all you'll need is a hose pulley pulling lava from an infinite source, which is the nether lava lakes here. Again, you'll have to hover over that and see that it's a bottomless supply first, and then you just pull lava from that and put it into the main fluid tank train. This is a very, very bare bones design of this. You can obviously make it more complicated, prettier, it doesn't matter, or you could keep it like this. This is perfectly fine. All you have to do is set up a train that goes in a circle, a train station. You can obviously increase the size of this fluid tank, and all you have to do is set up a little automated driver that could be a chicken or really any other mob. As it heads off, it goes back into the overworld, where it then unloads into another identical system here. And those are all of the ways you can get infinite lava in the Create mod. Now to go over what I would recommend and how to do it. I am very biased towards the big lava lake system here. The reason for this is because there's not really a way for it to fail. You're literally just pumping lava from an infinite source. As long as this is infinite, it's going to stay infinite. That's what infinite means. There are quite a few hiccups that come with this though, that I encountered in my survival series. If it's not infinite, it'll start pulling lava from here. You'll have to pump it back in. It's a big hassle. If you get the numbers wrong, it'll either not be perfectly full or flat, or it'll just start pulling lava out and it won't be a bottomless supply. Make sure it says bottomless supply before you start pumping lava out because it will update accurately. But after that though, there's literally nothing that can go wrong. You can pump it out indefinitely and you'll be fine. As long as the chunks are loaded, then this will work great. There's no limit as long as they're in render distance. That is the issue with this farm over here. This needs to be in random tick range, which is different than render distance. I've had a lot of my steam engines fail and my power break and things get overstressed and everything breaks because I've relied on this system. And if I'm more than 128 blocks away, which is actually really common when you're in single player because your render distance can go up to like 32 chunks, then this won't work. Your steam engines will fail and that's a huge hassle. The kind of cooking up cobblestone into lava direction is a cool one, but it's not really useful unless you have an infinite number of blaze cakes, which isn't too difficult to do, but making an infinite lava source like the one you see behind me is probably easier, and the dripstone one is definitely easier than this. And this just feels like a waste of blaze cakes. You can definitely do it if you have an easier mod to craft blaze cakes automatically. Absolutely, this is a great option, but it is a little bit more niche. This final one here is a really cool and good middle ground between just the manual labor difficulty of this one and just like using your brain every once in a while. It is a very cool design. You can make a cool nether train station and an overworld one that pumps all your lava in. You can make this train huge if you wanted to, with a bunch of different cars filled with lava and have it output into a massive fluid tank so that you never run out of lava. And as long as you're loading the chunks on both sides, then you're good. If I were to go back and do one of these infinite lava sources again, I think I would honestly choose this one, but that is because I have the chunk loaders here. If you don't have chunk loaders or don't want to deal with vanilla chunk loaders, I would probably honestly recommend just the big lava lake here for your final end game infinite lava source. For early game, nothing's going to beat the vanilla design. You can expand this pretty much infinitely, and it will generate enough lava for early game use. At some point, however, you will need to expand this to an actual infinite source. So just keep that in mind when you're building this, that this probably won't be the final infinite lava farm that you actually make. But that is going to be it for this video, so thank you all so much for watching. If you thought it was useful, or if you don't have a farm that requires lava yet, I have so many. Check them out. It's in the tutorials playlist on my channel. There's so many. But that's all. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked it, leave a like. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. I think only 11% of you are subscribed, so yeah, do that too. All right, peace.